Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you want me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, we start with a Five of Wands. You've been having a lot more of this sort of of this active, fiery, creative, assertive, confident energy, right? And I always say that it's kind of like you're sort of evolving into the Aries sign, right? You're sort of at the end of the wheel, and the next sign is going to be Aries. And I feel like there's been this evolution, this progress in you, where you're standing up for yourself so much more. I think you're asserting yourself. I think that you are striving for what you want. You're not afraid to have some competition or conflict with people. If standing up for yourself rubs people the wrong way, if you sort of taking charge of your own life displeases other people around, then it's kind of too bad, right? You're not someone that likes conflict, though. You don't like confrontation. You don't want to be in a competition. You don't want to be, you don't like that sort of energy, right? But you also are not going to yield to the will of other people. You're not going to let other people direct your life for you, or make decisions for you, or tell you what you should and should not want, or should and should not pursue in your life. Okay, so we're learning how to use the knob on the stove. You know, not everything just needs to simmer. Things simmer too long, there's going to be a tower moment, right? So sometimes we got to crank up the heat. We got to boil things for a little while and get them cooked, get them done, and that way you can move on, right? So if we experience too much opposition in life and we just sort of bury it and let it simmer, it's going to cook us slowly over time, right? And to me, that's not a good thing. Let's put some more cards out here. Let's see what else is going on with this five. We've got an Eight of Wands now, okay? And a Princess of Swords. A Prince of Wands, the Hermit. Two of Swords, interesting. Yeah, okay. I see the air here as being sort of, this is going to be important to talk about. We've got the Sun card, very nice. Three of, oh yeah, there we go. And the Nine, see what standing up for yourself does? Sun, Three of Cups, Nine of Cups, 6, 3, 6, 9, by the way. We have the path of the sun here, going to pure celebration and perfect happiness and harmony and beauty and bliss. And yeah, this is the ultimate satisfaction here. This is all the good stuff that results from you standing up for yourself and choosing how to respond, but allowing yourself to respond, right? I don't know what's going on in your life. Cards aren't being very specific on who is around or where some of this energy is taking place, but I feel like it's just kind of all over. It's just life in general, okay? What we're going to do is select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and it's going to go right here. We're going to put Frankenduck right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, go ahead and put it in the comments down below. Let's do it together. Let's exercise our intuition. Okay. And let's look around the room here. We've got the Hermit and the Sun. Well, isn't that nice, right? Because the Hermit is the one that has to go within to find the sun, to find yourself, to find your radiant spiritual self, to find your confidence, to find your light, right? And the Hermit really could be, there's a couple things that the Hermit could really be talking about here. It's kind of the way we sometimes shy away from conflict. It's the way we sometimes, the way we tend toward fleeing rather than fighting. We retreat rather than engage in life, okay? And so we see kind of an interesting active-passive kind of thing here, that the Hermit is sort of choosing to just walk the other way. The Sun card is saying, no, I'm here, and I'm going to pursue my happiness. I'm going to go after my goals. And it doesn't mean that you're just like, fighting with everybody. And I think that's what we're trying to avoid, right? We're trying to just live our life with our own autonomy and our own agency, and have our love and have our experiences, and, pursue those things that mean the most to us, that add depth and richness and abundance to life. So I feel like you kind of are, you're turning up the heat in life anyway. And we've got a lot of fire right here to kind of indicate that. We've got a lot of water over here, but we've got the air that's kind of, the air, for some reason, the air lately in readings have been doing this weird diagonal kind of configuration. And so it's just kind of like the only thing that's going to prevent all of this from being perfect. It's kind of like someone's torn the paper. You know what I mean? It looks like someone's just slashed diagonally down the spread here with the sword here. And it's just kind of putting a little bit of a blockage on the flow of energy. And so it's the mental stuff that we got to deal with. And first, though, I want to talk about the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is a sense of urgency. The Eight of Wands is prone to anxiety. Yeah. Because this is kind of like, we encounter a situation, and perhaps we don't really respond to it in the moment. We just sort of turn away, go home. We don't really have a response. And it's almost like somebody approaches you and says something really strange, and you're just kind of like, we don't know how to react or respond. But then later we go home and we're like, I should have said this, I should have done this, or maybe it's the boss at work or a coworker or something. And it's like, oh man, if I, and once we get home, once we get alone, hermit mode, now we're confident. Now I'm like looking in the mirrors, saying what I should have said back in the middle of the situation, but I didn't. So this is that card that's kind of like the anxiety and the frustration. That's like, we need to do something, but in the moment we just, I don't know, maybe it literally is anxiety. We can't really act in the way we can't express ourselves in the way that we can later on when we're sort of thinking about this situation, And in some ways, this is a good practice to put yourself back in those kinds of situations in your mind, in the visualization process, right? Really imagine that you're there again. Everything's happening again. You're starting to feel nervous and anxiety. But then allow yourself to act the way you wish you would have. Relive the experience, but do it in a different way. Do it in a way that's full of confidence, and you're really expressing yourself the way you want to, right? It's a good exercise to do. But we'd like to be able to do it in real time, And I think that there is sometimes a lack of confidence in you, right? I think maybe you are prone to anxiety. I think this is the card that's kind of like you have all of this creative energy, all of this force and fire within you. You have this tremendous spirit within you, but in the moment, it doesn't. We're just not able to get it out, This is it could be like a stage fright kind of energy, where you're the most beautiful singer anyone's ever heard. The problem is you get on stage and it just won't come out. Your throat closes up and you can't get the notes out, And so this is what we're trying to. This is what we are overcoming. As you move kind of more into your Aries energy, right? And it's always, last few readings anyway, it's been a bit of a theme for you as sort of evolving into into that more fiery kind of energy in yourself. But you still got this Princess of Swords down beneath the surface, and sometimes this is this can be a defensive card. This is sometimes, though, a card that this is the card that doesn't believe it's capable of really changing. You know, it's and it's a psychic thing. It's a mental thing for us a lot of the time, where we just feel like facts is facts, and there's no way around them. That this is how I am, and there's no way of changing this. And it's kind of like in some ways, it's the mind or the ego protecting itself. You know, this is like kind of a defensive card, you know. And so maybe we don't believe we're capable of, you know, learning new things. Can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? Don't know how old you are. I'm not calling you an old dog or anything. But we might lack a little bit of confidence in ourselves, or a little bit of belief that I can learn, I can be different, I can approach life with a different kind of energy, that I can assert myself. The other thing about this card, which is very telling, is that this figure's in that defensive position. It's always reacting against something. It's on its hind leg, right? You're on your back foot there. Yeah, you're not very stable, right? You're not in the forward-moving position, you know. Think of like martial arts or something, that you're kind of off balance, okay? That you're caught in a defensive position, and you're not in a very stable stance, okay? So this is that idea that it always feels as if you're just sort of defending yourself against a situation, or against life, or against whatever incoming energy, rather than being the one that's out there reaching out and making forward moves, right? With a stable, confident stance, and your base and your movements are very intentional. Rather than something happens, we're sort of not prepared, and we're off balance, and we're sort of, you know, on our back legs, right? We're going to fall down. We're going to fall down. The past position card, the Prince of Wands here, this is telling me that you're on a path of growth and evolution. I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't already know. I don't think I'm giving you any kind of surprise information here. But I feel that you've been working on this transformation within yourself for a long time, of speaking up, of standing up for yourself, of not veiling your light, not cloaking your energy, but revealing it, right? And this, I think you've made a lot of progress. And the Prince of Wands is showing the commitment to this. Now, maybe you've got some kind of a friend or a teacher, maybe literally with this energy here, you are, in a martial arts class, or some sort of a competitive training program, sports, or again, martial arts or sports, or something like this, where it could be a self-defense class, you know, that sort of thing, where you're learning how to be confident, and how to stand up and speak up for yourself, how to defend yourself, but not in the Princess of Swords kind of way, you know. We're learning to let our sun out here, to not veil our light. Okay, but you know, the Hermit still shows that this is sort of the central focus of your work, is revealing your light, of letting the world see you for who you are. See, we think the Sun card, it feels like the Sun card's in there. And it's hidden. Can't see it. It's there. You know it's there. I know it's there. But no one else, the world, can't see it. The world can't celebrate you, which is that we get to that Three of Cups. And the work that you're focused on right now is to, more and more often, and more different ways, and with an easier transition, is to kind of throw off the Hermit's cloak and reveal yourself for what you really are. Yeah, to be confident, and to have faith in yourself, and believe in yourself, and know that you're this radiant, shining sun. Okay? So I don't know if this is something it feels like it's kind of a general life thing. It doesn't feel that this is a specific situation going on at work or at school or at home or anything, but it could be that it manifests in your interactions with other people generally, you know. And I don't think it necessarily needs to happen in these very obvious ways, you know. I think it's in the subtle ways where you kind of like, unconsciously maybe, you just sort of let other people have their way because you don't want the conflict, because you don't want the confrontation type of energy. Okay? And if someone brings the fight energy to you, you have this Princess of Swords sort of response, but I don't feel you really have always asserted yourself, right? But you're working on it now. That's what we see, that things are changing. The Two of Swords in the future position is really, this is sort of the way you're moving forward through life. And we're realizing that every moment is a decision. Every moment is like a new universe is splitting off. A new timeline is splitting off from this one. Okay? Every point of the tree has another branch that's splitting off, and we can follow that one or we can stay on this one. And you're realizing that it's the way you handle yourself, the energy that you project into the universe, is determining which branch, what path you're on. And so in some ways, you're taking a more conscious, intentional approach to all of these little choices. It's almost like you've lived a life of sort of indecision. What do you want to have for dinner? I don't know, you decide. What kind of cereal should we get? I don't know, you decide. Someone else is picking your timeline for you, right? And now, what do you want to have for dinner? Indian food. I don't, maybe you never had it before, or you don't even like it, but you're making a decision, right? You're not leaving it to somebody else, you see, and it's not really an indifference, right? And that's, I think, that's something for later. This is more a lack of confidence in your choice. It's kind of like, I want Indian food. No one's gonna like Indian food. I don't even like it. That's a terrible choice. I don't know what I was thinking. Sorry. I think maybe you're one of those people that apologizes a lot, or you used to. I don't think you do anymore. You do when you're wrong. I'm not saying you're inconsiderate, but you've learned that you don't need to apologize for everything that comes out of your mouth, So the Two of Swords, very good. Making decisions, even if they're the wrong ones, but you're the one making them, you're not leaving it to somebody else. Okay? You have confidence that your decision is perfectly valid. Whether it's going to be good or bad, who knows? Let's go to Indian food. Well, might be good, might be bad. I might like it, I might not. That's my decision, And it's not that you're dominating every situation and you're making everybody's decision for them, but you have confidence in your decision-making ability. That you trust yourself and believe in yourself and all these great things. Now we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. What is this new attitude bringing for you? What good is it doing in your life, right? As we talk about these cards, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It helps the channel, and I really appreciate the support. Okay, I really do. Thank you. So, general energy, obviously the sun. The sun card, I think, is literally, with all of these cards, literally, it's just bringing more joy to your life. There's a feeling, there's a certain kind of joy or pleasure or satisfaction walking around life, kind of like knowing what you're made of, knowing that you're capable of handling any situation. It's like someone, now my wife does tea leaf readings. She's over at Ula Tea Leaf Readings. There's a link in my description for her YouTube channel. Marvelous work. We have a 4-year-old daughter. And last year, when she was 3, we put her in jiu-jitsu. And she was always kind of bashful, right? she didn't always go and interact with people. She wasn't the first one to sort of jump up and give her opinion or to run and play with other kids. And she kind of just like, waited for other kids to approach her a lot. A little bit bashful. Kids can be that way. But we put her in jiu-jitsu, right? And it's just one factor in many different factors of her life and her experience. But for the illustrative purposes, put her in jiu-jitsu, and a year later, she is, running up to other kids and saying, let's play. She is confident. She is voicing her opinion. She is speaking up. She is expressing her opinion in a loud and confident way. Just the way she walks around is you can sense the power, And it's very different than somebody walking around sort of hermit mode, trying to be anonymous, trying not to be seen, trying not to, disturb anybody else, or trying not to be a burden to anybody else, trying not to get in front of anybody else or to inconvenience anybody, right? We think of the hermit kind of as just sort of snaking around the crowd to not impose on the universe in any way. And there's a certain magic to that. There is, right? But there's a certain magic, I think, right now for you in being present. Being a spiritual force in the world. And again, you're not out there inconveniencing other people. You're not running to get to the front of the the line or anything to beat everybody else to the front. But you're not moving out of everybody else's way either. Okay? That you're kind of saying, universe, I'm here and I deserve to be here, and I'm going to pursue my life. I'm going to be myself. This is you shining with all your radiance. And there's a certain, you can tell that people who are out in the world and they're in touch with their spiritual self, their spiritual consciousness, and you can sense the energy. You can kind of see their aura, right? And it's not those arrogant people that think they're better than everybody else. You can see those people too. This is like a humble radiance, that you're an entity occupying time and space. And you don't have to give up your seat for everybody that comes along, all right? So anyway, I think this is a very important benefit. Just your sense of presence, is a big benefit to this shift in your perspective and your attitude and your energy. Also, 3 of Cups. It's actually not bringing you more confrontation or more fights or more discord or more dilemmas, more conundrums and pickles and more friction in your life. No, it's actually going to bring you more joy, right? Because if we see everything as being a conflict, everything as being sort of, this interaction, it's a challenge, if that's the energy we're in, is this sort of conflict energy, even if it's avoiding conflict, that word's still there. Right? Whether it's conflict or avoiding conflict. But once we sort of get out of that energy, life becomes way more enjoyable. Now every situation, not a 5 of wands, right? Not a potential 5 of wands or a 5 of wands that I have to sort of adjust my degree of fire here. It's really just, this is a moment. It's going to be, it's going to be joyous and beautiful to a greater or lesser degree. Maybe it's going to be so small in its joy or beauty that it's going to seem like a fight or like a burden or something. But it's all about perspective, right? So by you turning up your heat, turning up your light, letting yourself shine, being yourself, being confident, having faith in yourself, learning how to assert yourself, you are creating more opportunity for joy and pleasure and love and intimacy in your life. It's not just about avoiding conflict. Now it's about creating love, creating beauty and joy, right? 3 of Cups. It's all about the understanding the process of creation on the emotional plane. Okay, we got that Five of Wands. The Five of Wands really is all about conflict. We are in conflict with the process of change on the very spiritual plane, the very fundamental spiritual plane. Right? We're in conflict with that process. But here, we're understanding the process, and here we are in harmony with the process, and here we are benefiting from that process. And the process of change, the process of creation, is every single moment. Really, every one of these moments. We're creating a new future. We're creating reality. Every thought, word, and deed, right? Every moment is creating a new reality. We're creating the future every moment of our lives. And it's really interesting if you can feel that kind of reality. Everybody who's alive right now, we're at the cusp, we're at the perimeter of this ever-expanding bubble of consciousness, of time, space, energy, whatever it is, of spirit, of consciousness. And so everything that we do is shaping the future. Every thought, word, and deed is shaping the nature of reality. Everyone who's alive right now, And so you're realizing the spiritual power of your soul, of yourself, of your solar consciousness, of the consciousness itself. And of course, the Two of Swords is every choice, every decision that is sort of creating the new timelines and creating how this fractal universe kind of expands. Right? It's we're doing it. Right? Yeah. They say we live in the Matrix, or we live in a hologram or something like this. And yeah, we do. And we're creating it every second of our lives. Every moment that we are, that we're conscious, that we're alive. Anyway, the Six of Swords is now harmony with the process of change, and which is, again, every moment, every interaction, right? Every breath we take, every thought we think now has a certain harmony and a certain resonance. So it's even like, I think this is a feeling of respect. This is a feeling of now your interactions with other people. There's not a conflict with other people. It's not looking at every interaction, every interchange, every interface with someone isn't a conflict now. There's harmony. It's kind of like when you have this confidence, or this solar awareness, this perspective, or whatever it is, then that competitive or that conflict anticipating attitude is just not there. That there's now just sort of a fundamental rapport or resonance between people. I mean, you can kind of see when someone walks into a room and you can tell, like, oh, that person's like looking for a fight, or that person is just there's some sort of friction with that person, that they walk into the room and it's just like, I hope they don't come my way because I don't want to get into an interchange with them, We can feel that energy, And now I think when other people walk into the room, or when you walk into a room, it's going to really be, there's going to be a beauty about it all. There's going to be it feels like an order or a structure to things. It's just the vibe is going to be different. I don't know how else to describe this, but it has to do with the relationships between people. Okay. And in some ways, it's, to me, the whole thing, especially on the path of the serpent here, this is the whole vibe that I get here is when you know that you're around a very holy person. You ever experience that? Where it's just like there's confidence, and this person can probably kick my butt, but there's no There's no friction with that person. There's no animosity. There's no aggression, perhaps is the word. But it's just, that's what I feel here. And that's what I think what your experience is going to be like with this shift in your attitude. Is that it's going to, and I think in this case you, Pisces, might be this holy person, but it's just more of a spiritual awareness of the holiness of life, you and everything else too, where there's just joy, there's harmony. And I think there is this superabundance. I think that this is going to be moving you toward a life that is much more satisfying, if really only for the reason of you asserting yourself and going after what's going to make you happy. You're pursuing your happiness, following your bliss. You're not just letting other people do it. Other people go ahead of you. You're not trying to just be as out of the way as possible or as anonymous as possible. You have every right to pursue your bliss and follow your passion and follow your nature, follow your will as anybody else, right? So this is a path for you that's leading to a lot more joy, physical, mental, emotional, spiritually, creatively, abundant, satisfying, and fulfilling. Life is going to take on a whole new meaning for you. The depth of meaning, the richness and flavor of life is going to change for you. And this feels really, really good. I want to look at the mystery card. I don't know what we're really missing here except for maybe some earth energy. Maybe we want to see a 9 or a 10 of pentacles. Maybe a 6 of pentacles, right? Showing that you are, you're sort of, well, let's just look. If it is the 6 of pentacles, I feel like it should be, but we'll take a look. The King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is a couple of things. This is the fixed earth energy. On the one hand, I feel like this is someone who is blending into the background. It's the wallflower. It's somebody who's just like, they're there in the room, but no one really even notices them. Life is sort of going on without them. You know, that they're just here, they're trying to just be, if I'm really still and really quiet, people won't notice me, right? And that's kind of hermit mode. And I said there's a certain magic to that, you know, the art of invisibility, right? The magic of invisibility and that sort of thing, stealth. But if it comes from a place of insecurity or a lack of confidence, right, then we're just trying to avoid anybody noticing us because I don't want to get into a conversation. And trust me, I have really bad social anxiety. When I go to a place with a lot of people, a lot of the time, I just like to kind of not be noticed. You know, I don't always wear this jacket out in public, you know. Usually I just got like a hoodie on and, you know, I'm just trying to blend in. Because I don't always feel comfortable in those kinds of situations. And so this is really that kind of energy to an extreme for illustrative purposes, again. Somebody that's just kind of, life is going on, the room, everything's happening in the room. This person's just up against the wall like this, not moving, not even blinking, trying not to breathe, right? So that everybody just does their thing and hopefully everybody just passes by and no one notices me. Yeah. On the other hand, what if you were in the very center of the room? What if you were the fixed earth energy and you were here and you're saying I'm here and I'm not moving, right? That you're all going to have to go around me or you're going to have to come up and talk to me. It's like the way a king would sit in the throne and just, that is the holy place. That is a fixed sort of power spot of the earth. You know, it is the point that upon which everything else hinges, right? And so there could be the opposite way. It could be that, you know, I'm here and I'm ready to be noticed. You know, instead of us kind of just sort of shimmying against the wall to get out of there, this is us just standing in the middle of the room, larger than life. You know. It's that kind of, and it's sort of radiating that sense of holiness with you, yeah. And it's a shift, it's a change of perspective. Depends on how we look at it. But I like your energy right now, and I think that you're doing this work, and I think the results that we're experiencing are profound and very, very much meant for you. And I think it's a divine blessing. I really do. There is a sense of holiness here. We're going to do an extended reading too. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces are on Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment, let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.